Creative Brain Candy by creators for creators.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special episode of Smoking and Drinking in Space, a sci-fi podcast for more than a couple of guys who think they know sci-fi. You wanted it, we gave it to you. I am your host for today, and I am Satis.
Oh, God.
In this episode, we will be debating the age-old question, how much does James love corn? Actually, let's figure out who is the better Starfleet captain, shall we? It is James T. Kirk or Jean-Luc Picard. But first, he's the man, the myth, the legend in his own head. It's Jason. How you doing today?
And elsewhere. Not just in my own head, in my diary, too.
In your diary. Yeah.
Do you know whose diary I'm a legend in?
No one's.
Here it comes.
Don't you dare. Okay. So we're done with this podcast. James loses.
I'm victorious.
Yes. And he's not allowed within 1,000 feet of any cornfield because of that one night when he was drunk on ethanol bathtub hooch. It's James. How you doing, James?
I have never been in 11/22/63. That's not even sci-fi.
Yeah, but you still make the bathtub hooch.
Well, yeah, it's the best hooch. Bathtub hooch, best hooch. And your mom guzzles that shit.
Okay. Your time is coming, dude. Your time is coming. All right. So to answer this Kirk versus Picard debate, each of you will be taking a side for one of the captains and stating your case as to why your captain is the best captain in all the land or Starfleet. It doesn't matter which. At the end, I will make the final decision as to why James is wrong and crown the best captain in the universe because it is the way.
Before we start, I think it's only fair to note that when I started sleeping with your mom, I had no idea we were going to do this. If I did, I would have held off on sleeping with her until tonight.
Okay. Thanks, jerk.
Does that make you my son, Rob?
Only if you acknowledge that Kat is your daughter.
Well, that's just weird. No, I'm out. All right.
Okay, great. I'm not sure why we picked who got who, but here we go. Despite James living in a place that has a corn all over, as far as the eye can see, he's taking the side of Picard, which means, Jason, you're going to have to put down your bottle of wine and advocate for Kirk. Can you do that?
Yeah, because Kirk is definitely the better captain.
Yeah, that's the reason we took these, is because I honestly believe that Jean-Luc Picard is the only cheese-eating surrender monkey that could captain a starship.
And James T. Kirk is the only good thing that comes out of Iowa. So
yeah, I'm all right
that.
With that
is true. That's very
fair,
true.
Accurate statement.
Yeah. So let's see. Each of you will do an opening statement like I talked about, and we've got a few topics that we can take care of, or you guys can just go off the cuff. It doesn't matter to me. The ultimate decision is, or the ultimate goal is to convince me. All right.
Who's running this shit show?
I am. We did a corn flip. Yeah, we did a coin flip in the back. Yeah, we did a corn flip in the back. James won, but I hate James, so Jason, engage.
So is this like my opening statement, right, or are we doing a topic here? Or?
No, this is your opening statement.
Opening statement, okay. So
opening statement, go.
Kirk, he is the epitome of Starfleet captain. I mean, he's got the swagger. He's got the leadership skills. He's got the tactical acumen to get him and his crew out of just about any situation that comes up. I mean, he is the guy who cheated his way through the Kobayashi Maru because he doesn't believe in no-win scenarios. So he is the only person who has ever won the Kobayashi Maru. Kirk is a man's man, definitely. I mean, he's probably fucked his way through the galaxy more than once. And I mean, he walks into a room, panties drop. He's just got that kind of swagger. Not only that, but the dude is, a genius. I mean, he out-chessed a Vulcan. Who does that? Kirk does that. He's put himself into many hairy situations to get him, his friends, his crew, the Federation, the Earth out of basically doomsday scenarios. He brought back whales. He brought whales back from extinction. He went back in time to 1984, and there's nothing really good that ever came out of 1984 except for Kirk bringing back whales.
Wait, did Picard time travel?
Yeah, but what did he do?
That's true. Never mind. I was going to say this is a no-win situation for Picard, but he did time travel too. So,
yeah, but he didn't bring back whales. He didn't bring anything back from extinction.
All I care about is time travel, Jason.
Well, Kirk has done that many, many times.
All right.
So yeah, Kirk, the epitome of Starfleet captainish.
Captainish?
It's just go with it.
Okay, perfect. All right. So nothing from you, James, right?
Oh, no. No. I'm going to give it to you like I give it to your mom.
My God.
Picard is a thinking man's captain. He's not just a run and gun, shoot from the hip, fuck everything in the galaxy kind of captain. He is an intellectual. He is a historian. He is a strategist, a diplomat, and a lover. Let's not forget how many women Picard has fucked. Maybe not as prolifically or as loudly as Kirk did, but he certainly did. He certainly did all of the time. And I have examples for you, which we will get to just a little bit later. Kirk, on the other hand, is no diplomat. Picard, while he might be a cheese-eating surrender monkey, has an English accent. He rejects that part of him. Picard saved us from the Borg. He has time traveled many times to save us from certain destruction. In fact, if Picard hadn't time traveled, there would have been no Kirk. And then Kirk wouldn't have time traveled to 84 to save the whales. So Picard saved the whales.
I'm not sure that's how that works, but okay. All right, so let's do the first topic here. Why is your captain a representation of what Starfleet is or should be? How do they embody the Starfleet way? I don't care who goes first.
I'll go first because you let Jason go first.
Okay,
with
fine.
This, so I'll go first.
All right, fine.
Picard's on the goddamn brochure. All right? That's really all you need to know. The brochure for Starfleet still has fucking Jean-Luc Picard on it. And he's been retired for 15 years. This guy prolifically saved the Federation in every season of TNG, just about. Not only did he save the Federation in season 1 from a far-flung enemy from a distant galaxy, but he also saved us from soul-eating, time-traveling aliens. He saved us from a Romulan civil war. Or a Klingon civil war, I'm sorry. He saved us from a Romulan invasion. Picard saved us from ourselves. And last but not least,
elaborate on that.
What do you mean? Well, he saved us from ourselves when he in Star Trek Insurrection, when he weeded out.
Okay.
When he weeded out the bad elements in Starfleet Command. And not only that, he saves planets on the reg. It's not like he does this every once in a while. Like, that's what Picard does. There's a planet in trouble, call Picard. He saved it from a moon. And how did he do that? He saved a god from himself. And that god being Q. He helped Data become just a little bit more human. So Picard saves everyone. He is the epitome of Starfleet. He is everything that Starfleet stands for. And when Starfleet turns their back on him, and they turn their back on their ideals, what does he do? He stands up for what is right, and he leaves Starfleet. He says, I cannot be a part of this. I will not be a party to this. And on those rare occasions when Starfleet's ideals get in the way of doing what's right, Picard does not hesitate to do the right thing.
Okay. Jason? Man,
Jane? Is my name Jane now?
No, I was about to say James, and I was like, wait, James just went.
I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you, using your real
last time that Rob gets those.
Oh, you're so mean.
Okay.
I'm not used. It's hard saying James and Jason because, it's two J's. Now, if I said Crowley and Alleron, that would be easy. I'm used to saying Alleron all the time at night in my bed.
So
go ahead.
Kirk.
Go ahead, Jason.
So Sir Kirk has saved the Federation and the Earth and the galaxy multiple times too. Picard doesn't have the franchise locked down on saving people and the galaxy. Kirk, I would say, probably has done it more than Picard has. Not only that, but he prevented a war between the Federation and the Klingons that could have raged on for decades. But
Picard has done the same thing, sir.
I did not interrupt you as you gave your
Well,
reasons,
that just sounds
so.
like a terrible tactician there, just like Kirk.
Okay, so Kirk is a terrible tactician.
We'll
Kirk
get to that in a minute.
out-tacticianed a person that was custom built to be a master tactician, Khan. He faked out Khan and basically tore him a new asshole in his own fucking ship. So don't tell me about tacticians. I mean, he's got he can out fucking chess a goddamn Vulcan. I would like to see Picard out chess a Vulcan.
All right, look, we're not playing games here. All right, chess is a game.
Oh no, chess is more than a game. Chess takes strategy.
Let's talk about Khan for just a second. He didn't out strategize Khan. All right, he didn't have some game winning fucking plan. Kirk, like he always does, flies by the seat of his fucking pants. And when push
But he
came
can
to
do
shove,
that because he is that fucking good.
No, that's not it. He's just more experienced than Khan when it comes to, space battle. That's it. If you remember right, the only reason he was able to destroy the Reliant is because he understood that space isn't just on X and Y. There's a Z. So he was able to go under Khan and let Khan go over him and then come back up behind Khan and blow him out of the sky. That's the only reason, is experience. So if you're going to tell me that that Kirk out strategized Khan, you might want to reevaluate that statement, because at every turn he was outmaneuvered by Khan. And the only thing that got Khan was his inexperience at space battle. And that's it.
No, that wasn't the only reason. That was not the only reason. Khan had the upper hand the entire fucking time because of the element of surprise.
Did not.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my God.
And then Kirk had to overcome those fucking setbacks through strategy and tactics to finally fucking defeat Khan. Kirk was the one that went into the nebula so that Khan couldn't use his superior sensors because the Enterprise had been disabled, so that he was evening the playing ground. Yeah, Kirk
if
used
I remember
his experience.
Correctly, that was Spock who suggested the nebula.
Oh, you want to talk about using your crew? Picard couldn't do shit without his fucking crew.
You know what? That's a great point. And let me talk on that for just a second, because Kirk uses almost extensively Spock and McCoy. And that's it, or exclusively Spock and McCoy. Every once in a while, you'll get a little Uhura or a Scotty or a Chekhov or a Sulu, but that's it. Picard uses every available tool at his disposal, and that includes
when you have tools
his
as
crew.
good as McCoy and Spock, you really don't need to go to other tools.
Christ, what a weak argument.
Okay.
Picard.
What's Picard gonna do? Fucking bore somebody to death?
Wow. You know what? How many maneuvers does Kirk have named after him?
Oh,
the
probably
answer to that
fucking a
question
couple
is-
over. I mean, he
Right.
performed
And all of
maneuvers
them in
all
the
over the
bedroom.
galaxy on women.
All of them probably in the bedroom. Okay. Picard has the Picard maneuver where
he pulls down
outgunned-
his fucking tunic. That's an awesome
where
maneuver.
He was outgunned by an unidentified a hostile who turned out to be a Ferengi warship.
Oh
and-
yeah, Ferengi warship. There's a fucking contradiction in terms.
Okay, well, this was before they retconned the Ferengi to be basically, money grubbers. That was so the Ferengi were supposed to be in the first couple of seasons. They were supposed to be the new Klingons, and then
Was
they
'cause
decided
Picard's
to go
supposed
in
to be a
different
good
direction.
captain?
So you can't fault writing. What Picard did was, and has this maneuver named after him, is to fool this overpowering enemy's sensors. He warped in close proximity, right in front of the Ferengi ship, which then caused a sensor duplicate. So the sensors were confused on the Ferengi ship. Is it the target we just had a lock on, or is it the target just in front of us? And it gave the Stargazer the opportunity to blow the Ferengi out of the water, which they did. That maneuver is now known as the Picard maneuver. And the only person to devise a defense against the Picard maneuver, a fucking android.
Okay. So
Not a
you're saying that
Romulan,
Data is a
computer.
Data is a better captain than Picard?
No, I'm not. I'm saying that Riker's a better strategist than Picard, but that also means that Riker's a better strategist than Kirk.
No, not at
Because
all.
Riker used Data to devise a defense against it, and Data even said there is no defense against it.
Picard was...
You need to come up with one real quick, and Data did, because that's what Data does.
Yeah, Kirk is the only person to have actually won the Kobayashi Maru. A no-win fucking scenario that nobody else...
He cheated. That's not winning.
How is that
That's
cheating? He won it.
Because you're not. He went in and reprogrammed it.
And?
The only reason
He won.
was because in the prime timeline, there wasn't some existential threat, and so the commanders at Starfleet Academy went, "No one's ever done that before."
Right.
That's out of the box thinking.
Absolutely.
That's not strategy. This is just fucking cheating.
That's
He didn't
absolutely
believe in the
strategy.
Scenario. You know what?
He did
Picard's enough
something
of a man
nobody
to
ever
know that
thought
there's-
about doing.
Picard knows the art of compromise. And because of that, he kept his crew out of a lot of trouble. You know what? Kirk may have saved a planet or two here in the and the
planet or
Federation a
two.
couple of times. But you know what? For the most part, all he does is save his crew.
You know what? Kirk saved
Picard saves
Picard.
lives. Picard saves lives.
Kirk
saves his own
Picard.
ass. You know what? Kirk can't even talk right. I think he's on a spectrum.
I think that was just William Shatner in general,
I
not
think
Kirk.
that might be Captain Kirk. How the fuck did he
He
get laid
just
talking
wants
like
to make
that?
sure that slow people are able to understand him.
Is that what it is? Oh, so he's some kind of xenophobic. Well, he is, because he hated the Klingons so much so that it was easy to frame him for a crime.
He
that
hated the
didn't commit.
Klingons because they killed his son, but he overcame
He hated the
that
Klingons
hatred
long before
no,
that.
he did not.
He was known around the Klingon Empire as the guy to get. There was a price on his head all of the time because all he did was kill Klingons.
They were in a fucking Cold War with each other. That was a war between the Federation and the Klingons. Everybody hated each other up until they became more peaceful at the Khitomer Accords.
Right.
And
you know
Kirk was
what?
the one that made that able to happen.
Kirk was never brought in front of the fucking the High Council, the Klingon High Council.
All right.
Never.
Since we're heading that direction, let's talk about diplomacy. So,
yeah, Kirk had never been there. Picard was invited there several times.
Yeah, because of the groundwork that Kirk laid to make
Absolutely
peace
not.
between the Federation and the Klingon Empire.
He didn't even want to do it. He did it
But
begrudgingly.
he did it because he is a
ordered to.
Starfleet officer, and that was what he was called to do.
But he wasn't called
because they killed his son. He did it.
No, he did it because he was called to do it, and he was called to do it not because he's a diplomat, but because it would look good if you were at the table because you've killed so many of them. That's not being a diplomat. That's being a general. And there is a wide difference between being a diplomat and looking for a solution that saves lives instead of being the solution to take lives.
Like the
which is all
solution
Kirk
that
was.
saved all of the lives by preventing a war between the Federation and the Klingons.
How many times did Picard do the same thing with the Romulans and not kill Romulans? I mean, you want to talk about a galactic Cold War. There it is right there, Federation and Romulus. A much longer Cold War than the Cold War with the Klingons. And Picard was on the front lines. He was in the neutral zone all the time trying to make peace with them.
But there was already a treaty in place. When Kirk was killing Klingons,
But
there was no treaty. They were at war.
They were at a Cold War. You just said there's a large difference between a Cold War and a war.
People still die in a Cold War.
We had treaties with Russia. We were still in a Cold War.
Yeah, but people died. You don't think people died? You don't think there were conflicts?
Not nearly as many as Klingons. Klingons fucking died all the time. Why? Because that's all Kirk did. He was a gunslinger. In fact, not only was he known as a gunslinger, he was known as a gunslinger during Voyager because Janeway even said he was a gunslinger.
Well, you don't fucking shoot at the king and not take him out.
He's not the fucking king.
He is the king.
He's not the king. He didn't want to be admiral. They had to force him into the admiral's seat, and then
how long did it
demoted
take
him back
Picard
to
to get into the admiral seat?
How many demotions did Picard get? 0. How many demotions did Kirk get? At least 2 that I can remember.
Right, because he didn't want to be admiral, and there were things that he needed to do.
Demotion.
Right.
Like you did something wrong. We're going to demote you because you can't do this job. You're really good at this
So there
job.
was
You're
a
not good
double
at this job.
standard in Starfleet because Picard did a hell of a lot more shit wrong and against what Starfleet ordered him to do, and they never gave him a demotion like that.
You know what?
It was a double standard.
That's not. How many bastard children does Picard have running around?
Oh, I don't know.
The answer's 0.
I don't know.
How
Maybe
many
Bosch
bastard
had
children does Kirk have running around?
Probably a lot.
Right. So there's something to be said about the responsibility and the integrity of a man. Picard has that integrity. I think Kirk's at the very least is dubious.
Oh, no, not at all. Kirk is always true to his word. I don't know that he ever told anybody that if you have a kid, look me up. I'll help you out with that.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think he did. I don't think, like, that's why do you think he wanted to be in space all of the time? He didn't want to be in one spot where these bastard kids could find him.
Look, you can't penalize Kirk because he got a lot of strange. I mean, just because Picard can't get laid to save his life doesn't fucking
Strange.
doesn't fucking
Well, it was
mean that
70s when it came out, wasn't
not
it?
Kirk for that.
Oh, well, I think I absolutely can. There's something about being an officer and a gentleman, not an officer and a man whore. Jesus Christ, Riker.
Right, exactly. So Picard apparently condones that behavior.
I think he just said he was more enlightened and he was like, yay, when you're on your off time, I don't care what you do.
Exactly. So Kirk was on his
Right.
off time.
Kirk was not on
All
his
the
off
time.
time. No. That is a
A lot of the
fallacy,
time
sir.
it was.
No, really? Can you name one when it was?
Well, they
when it
didn't
was,
show all of his off
they
time.
didn't show it. Oh, okay. All right. I got you. Oh, my God.
Wow.
I'm just saying, like Picard was the guy they wanted to do first contact. He was the guy they called in when shit was going to hit the fan and he needed to talk someone off a ledge. Picard was the guy who could turn officers around, which is why he got Ensign Rowe.
Yeah, because he bored them all to
The other
death.
reason he got
They would
Ensign
fucking
Rowe
pass
was-
out from boredom, and then you just
That's
cart
not-
them off, and
that's
you
not
take the
accurate.
phaser away from their head. Or
Then, if that's the case, why did everyone clamor to be part of his crew?
who clamored to be a
Everyone.
part of his crew?
Have you ever seen the
when he
episode
came
Lower
on
Decks?
the fucking Enterprise, nobody knew who he was.
They certainly found out very quickly.
In fact, I think Riker tried to big dog him whenever he came on board.
In fact, you know what? Let me just bring this up. When in season 1 of TNG, when Starfleet was infiltrated by enemies from a far-flung galaxy, little parasites that would go inside of the Admiral and give them super stupid strength, and they would eat maggots and this and that, and they were taking over Starfleet from the inside. There were 3 captains. One of them was Picard, and the other 2 brought Picard in because of who he was. How many times have other captains that you can remember reached out to Kirk and been like, hey, man, I need your help?
Tons. In fact,
tons.
Kirk was the one who dedicated the
example?
Enterprise B. They brought him on board to dedicate the Enterprise B whenever it
That's
launched.
only because at that point he was the most famous Enterprise captain, because there had only been, 3, which he destroyed one on purpose.
He had to.
Oh, yeah. Did he?
Absolutely.
I don't ever remember Picard having to do it. He bluffed
Really?
it several times.
He let Deanna Troi fucking drive the Enterprise into the goddamn ground.
I let Deanna Troi do a lot of things. I just want to go on record as saying that.
But would you let her drive the Enterprise D into the fucking Earth?
I'm not sure I'd let any woman drive anything that I'm in it.
I did not say that.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so Picard has some questionable leadership skills there.
Oh, let's talk about questionable leadership skills then for just a minute. Not to play moderator here, but how many times did Kirk break the Kobayashi Maru? Or not the Prime Directive?
He only broke the Kobayashi Maru once.
Once, yeah, the Prime Directive. How many times did he break the Prime Directive?
He did it only when he had to.
I didn't ask that. I said how many times. That's not what I asked.
I don't know. I
said,
didn't keep a tally.
11. The answer is 11. Do you know how many times Picard broke the Prime Directive?
More than 0?
9.
So
Picard, he toes the line more than Kirk does.
Okay, but Kirk, like I said, only did it when he had to save lives, just like Picard.
Is that what it was?
And so you would even say you would have to extrapolate from those figures that if both did it to save lives, that Kirk was saving more lives than Picard, or had more opportunities.
You need to
save
quantify
lives.
that. You can't just say things like that. I would quantify it. Give me examples.
Well, I just gave you the example. He had to break the Prime Directive 11 times to save lives. Picard had to only
How
do
many
it
lives
9
did he
times.
save in those 11 times? Did he save a planet each time?
Well,
Was it a single life?
Is there a difference?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you should know this, right? Because Kirk was all about, just as was Spock, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one.
Sure.
Where Picard is absolutely different. The needs of the one outweigh the needs of the many. Picard understood that the individual is just as important as the collective. And that's played out in front of us during Star Trek Picard. It is the antithesis of Star Trek True Wrath of Khan.
Okay.
And in saving the individual, you save the galaxy.
But we haven't established that Kirk saved just an indivial. That was a
We
question
haven't established
you
that
posed.
Kirk saved shit. You haven't given me any examples.
Oh, come on.
Give me examples. How many people? Just give me an example of a time that Kirk saved somebody. Do you have any?
Well, no, I didn't do that much research, so
So what he's saying is he does tons of research for the regular show. But when it comes to this stuff, he's like,
I didn't know
fuck
that
it.
particular question was going to come up.
Hey, you
give
gotta
me,
be prepared
you want
for
me to
everything.
give you an exact example of the. He saved fucking the entire goddamn planet Earth. He brought back the fucking whales.
Yeah, with his whales. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How many people died because of that? Because
None.
That's not true. He was chastised for how many people died during that stunt. So, no, Starfleet Command, while happy with the overall outcome of saving the whales, they were not happy with his singular performance in that particular mission.
Because he pissed
not?
him off by
By what? Going after Spock.
Well, yeah, going after Spock, but They also told him to come home, and he went back in time to save the whales too. Starfleet didn't like Kirk because he wasn't on a leash. He wasn't a good boy like Jean-Luc.
That's right. Thank you very much for it. Like, that's all I really needed. The better officer from your own mouth.
The better officer, but not the better captain.
Jean-Luc Picard. Oh, that's not that. You can't say
we're
one
not-
without the other.
We're not debating who's the
disciplined, more
better
ass-kissing
Starfleet.
officer, but not the better captain overall.
No, that's absolutely not true. He is the better
Absolutely
captain.
true.
You know what? How many red shirts died under Kirk?
You can't make that determination
Oh,
because
you
the
can't
colors
make
of
that
the shirts
determination.
changed between the fucking seasons.
Oh, okay.
How many gold shirts died under Picard?
I don't know, a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just because the color of the shirt changed, that's not valid.
Right.
Yeah.
Look, we've kind of danced around this, right? How many women did Kirk fuck? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I can give you a list of Picard's conquests.
Yeah, there's like what, 2, 3?
Well. See, I knew you'd say that, and you'd be wrong. So there's Dr. Beverly Crusher, obviously. There's
Wait, when
Lieutenant
did he fuck Beverly?
Oh, they fucked. In fact, in the timeline, they said that in the timeline from All Good Things that they were married and then divorced. So you know they fucked.
That
Well,
was
okay.
that was a future timeline that never happened.
We don't know that. We don't know whether or not they got married and divorced.
So-
that has not been explored yet in Picard.
Let's clarify this. Are we talking how many do we think, or how many that were shown or mentioned?
We can't do
in
how many
TV?
we can't do that. We have to look at what we have in canon and that what was alluded to or even toyed with. All right. So I mean, almost every episode there's one for Kirk. Like, I get that, right? But they were all throwaways. There was no connection. He used women. He was a womanizer. He was a famous womanizer. Where Picard had Crusher, who was a confidant, a friend, and wanted to be a part of everything that Picard did. You had Lieutenant Commander Darren, who he was romantically involved with and then eventually had to break it off because that's what a good officer does. Then,
What,
of course,
breaks up with somebody?
Yeah,
Is that in the
because
Starfleet manual?
look,
If you're
man,
dating somebody, you have to break up with them. That's what you do in
his first
Starfleet.
officer came to him and said, "I think that she's using her relationship with you to get favors from me." And he listened to his first officer, and he went and he confronted her, and she got butthurt. And he's like, "This probably isn't going to work because I can't send you into dangerous situations." He's like, "I don't want to, and that's your job." He's like, "And when I send you into dangerous situations, then I get, I'm on edge, wondering if you're okay." He's like, "I can't do this anymore."
So he couldn't balance work and
So
life.
Picard could absolutely. He was in touch with his feelings. He understood his limitations.
Oh, there's nobody more in touch with their feelings than Kirk.
No, that's his penis.
Well, he's
so
in
then
touch
there's-
with that too, but his feelings, he is driven by his feelings.
Only his feelings, not
No,
his
no,
intellect.
not at all only his feelings.
Oh, not his intellect.
Oh, absolutely. You think he could get in the shit that he gets in and be able to get out of it and save as many lives as he has without being just
Yes,
fucking
by
smart
his own
as shit?
admission. By his own admission, I
What?
fly by the seat of my pants.
That
Star Trek
doesn't
2,
mean he's
Wrath
dumb.
of
That
Khan.
probably means he's smarter than the
No,
average
it just
bear.
means that he's able. No, absolutely not. He might be more clever than some of his opponents, but he even said he's like, "There's going to be a time where I'm not," and there were several times where he wasn't.
recognizes the fact that there's always going to be somebody smarter, that there's always going to be somebody better. And so he
Picard
watches out
understands
for that.
too. And so does Picard. But Picard does it in a very diplomatic way where Kirk does not.
So,
I mean,
yeah,
there
and
was
let's
Vosh.
define diplomatic. When you say diplomatic, very boring, dull, talk yourself to death way.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. The Vosh, she wasn't boring. She was the opposite of boring. In fact, she caught Q's attention as well as Picard's. Then there's Kamala. Do you remember who Kamala was? Famke Janssen?
Yeah.
That ring a bell? Oh, she's super hot. How do you not know who Famke Janssen is?
I know.
She's
I said yes.
Okay. Oh, I thought you said no.
Fuck.
I'm sorry. I'm too focused on Famke right now. So he bonded with her, and he still did his duty and let her go. Then there's Captain Philippa Louvois. Do you remember who she is? No.
Why are we
not.
going through the short
Because
list
I'm
of
just saying,
fucking
because-
Picard conquests? That's
I
the
have
short
a reason.
and total list.
Nope. I have a reason here. From Measure of a Man, she was the judge advocate general. Then there was Aline from the Inner Light episode where he was married to her for years and years and years in another life. And then there was Anish.
Yeah, in another life. So that one doesn't even
Insurrection.
count.
So I did all of that. I went through all of those to say this. Can you name just three of Kirk's love interests that aren't Carol Marcus?
Well, no, you can't eliminate one of them. I mean, that's
Everybody
that's
knows
probably
who Carol Marcus
right.
is.
That's probably
I can.
the most famous of Kirk's love
I'm not
interests.
asking. I'm not fine. You can look. There you go. There's your gimme. And give me two more.
There was
Green Orion lady doesn't count.
Oh, come on! That was
Nope.
going to be my next
Nope.
one.
I knew it. Now, come on now.
There
I
was
want names.
You know, if you
nurse.
stall long, if you stall long enough,
Google
you can
works.
look it up. Yeah.
There was nurse. What's her face?
Nurse, what's her face?
I'll
Wait,
accept
wait.
that.
How are you going to accept that? Just hold
I'm
on.
the moderator here, dude.
I'm gonna
I
ask
can do what the fuck I want.
Your mom is not going to be happy with you. No, that doesn't count. Are you talking about like you could have said Yeoman Rand, but that wasn't even a love
Yeoman
interest.
Rand was going to be my next one.
But that wasn't a love interest. She was interested in him and he wasn't interested in her.
Are you sure?
So yes, 100%. The only time they kissed was when they were forced to. You can't say Uhura because that was the only time they kissed was when they were forced to.
I thought
and
he
Nurse,
he had a thing for Yeoman Rand for a little bit.
No, it was the other way around. And then the nurse you're talking about, the one played by Majel Barrett, she had a thing for Spock, not Kirk. So
I thought her and Kirk did a thing too.
Wing and a miss. Nope, that was her and Spock.
Who
And it was
was
just her,
who was the lady that he went back in time to like Nazi Germany with?
Okay, I will accept that.
Can't remember her name.
That. Yeah, no, the one played by Elizabeth Taylor. No, it wasn't Elizabeth Taylor, was it? It was Joan Collins.
Oh, was it? Oh,
Joan
that's right. That
Collins.
was Joan Collins. Holy shit!
I'll accept that, but they didn't sleep together. They did kiss.
Wait! You said love interest. That doesn't imply
I said I'd
fucking.
count it. I'm just making sure that we know that that's like one time that he kept it in his fucking pants. Like I'm trying to give Kirk some credit here. Look, I'll be 100% honest. Before Picard came along, I was a Kirk guy. And even after the first 3 seasons of TNG, I kept saying Kirk's better than Picard. Kirk's better than Picard. But when Picard is tortured to the point of breaking by the Cardassians, he doesn't break. There are 4 lights.
Okay.
Kirk would have been like, fuck you, there's 3 lights. Give me my
Oh,
foot.
whatever. You cannot make that statement. You have no
I just
idea
did.
unless Kirk was in that position or a similar position.
Have
to
you
make
ever
that
seen
decision.
Kirk tortured?
No, he's not dumb enough to make himself in that or put himself in that predicament.
Starfleet put Picard in that predicament. Let's
Well,
just
yeah,
be
because
honest.
he accepted that fucking mission.
He didn't accept it. He was given the mission. He told his officers, the 2 officers that he took with him, Beverly Crusher and Commander Worf, hey, if you don't want to do this, you don't have to. But I've been directed to put a team together, so I have to put the team together. Like if you want to back out, you can back out. This is going to be pretty rough.
Yeah, he could have told fucking Starfleet to pound sand.
You know who does that? Kirk does that. Picard
Exactly.
doesn't, because Picard knows
Because
what his
Kirk
duty
doesn't put
is.
himself in stupid ass
Picard
positions
knows
like
where his
that.
duty lies.
Technically, Picard told Starfleet to pound sand later in life.
He stood up when he needed to stand up. He would stand up.
You know
Not
who
just to
doesn't
save his
listen
own
to
ass.
And
Picard
then straighten
anymore?
his tunic.
Starfleet.
Who doesn't?
Shut the fuck up, Picard.
That's true.
Yeah, well, you know what? And that's fine. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say that Picard doesn't have any faults. He obviously has faults. He's a narcissistic fuck.
And he has a brain tumor.
And he has a brain tumor.
Well, we can't fault him
Not
for
a
that.
tumor. It's not a tumor. But, I mean, he has a reason to be narcissistic. And I'm not saying that Kirk's not narcissistic, because he is. And he also has a reason to be. He was very prolific. I want to give Kirk credit where credit is due. Until Janeway came along and was flung into the Delta Quadrant, Kirk had the most first contact missions. He had discovered more planets than anyone in the history of Starfleet. And that's something to be said. That's something to be said about the time that he was in. That's something to be said about how prolific he was at going out and trying to, do what Starfleet, the mission at the core of Starfleet, what that was, and the core of the Federation, what that was. So there are certainly good things to be said about Kirk. But if you're asking me if there's a battle, who I want next to me?
Kirk.
Picard.
Oh, fucking
Every
Kirk.
time and twice on Sunday.
Oh, God, no. Not unless Picard has his full fucking crew around him. Because without his full fucking crew around him, he is useless. Whereas
if you're going to point to the Picard series, if you're going to point to the Picard series as the proof in the pudding here, then I'm going to have to respectfully tell you that you're full of shit. And here's why. Because you cannot say what an 80-year-old man is capable of. It's the same thing that a man in his prime.
No, I'm talking about the next generation. I mean, if he didn't have somebody like Worf or Yar controlling the fucking...
Timba, his arms wide.
What about it?
Yeah, what the fuck would Kirk have done? Kirk would have killed that guy. You know how I know that? Because he did the same thing with the Gorn.
The Gorn was trying to kill him.
Okay, well, Picard thought this guy was trying to kill him. Kirk would have never put that together. Kirk would have been like, oh, cool, a knife.
Oh, whatever.
Kirk would have absolutely done that, and you know it. Picard, on the other hand, thought the problem through in a thoughtful manner and was able to communicate in a thoughtful way.
And he didn't
with
attack
his alien
Picard.
Species.
He didn't attack Picard like the Gorn. The Gorn actually came up to Kirk and started beating on him. The dude was just brandishing a knife to Picard.
That's not accurate either. They were thrown into an arena after they were battling on another planet. They were already fighting. Like, not to give you points here, but yeah, they were fighting on another planet, and then some alien race told them both to stop fighting and took the leaders of both and put them on a planet and said, fight it out to the death. And then Kirk didn't kill him. He just beat the shit out of him.
Right.
He wouldn't do it. Yeah, no, look, I'm not saying Kirk's a bad guy. I'm just saying that he's not the better captain.
No, he's absolutely the better captain. And everything that we've talked about shows that he's the better captain. He is willing to bend and break the rules in order to be the better captain.
Do you remember when
he is more tactically sound on his own without his crew than Picard is?
Really?
Picard would be lost without his crew in most cases.
That's not true. In fact, there are several instances where that is patently untrue. There was the episode where they were doing something to the Enterprise and the rest of the crew had been taken off the Enterprise, and Picard went back on to get his saddle. And when he was on to get his saddle, terrorists took over the Enterprise. Everyone else was gone. There was no crew to help Picard. Picard saved the Enterprise on his own. Then there was the time where Picard, all the rest of the crew, again, were off the Enterprise. It was just Picard and Riker was in the holodeck. And he brought Picard in, and the two of them were caught up in this AI bullshit thing for a while because they had their guard down. They come out, and the Enterprise had been fucking basically hijacked by these aliens, the Binars.
So how many times has the fucking Enterprise been hijacked under Picard's command? Holy shit. You'd think they'd get a lock on that fucking thing.
Sure, the terrorists didn't actually hijack it. Picard stopped them. The Binars did hijack it, but only to save their planet, which then Picard then helped save their planet, because that's what Picard does. Even though they just hijacked the flagship of the Enterprise, then there. So that's it. That's it. I mean, Kirk, on the other hand, it was taken over.
No, that's not it. Data fucking hijacked the Enterprise.
No, he just locked everybody out, and he took off in a shuttlecraft.
He fucking hijacked the Enterprise and took it to a planet that he was not supposed to take it to. He locked everybody out, fucking rode the Enterprise to the fucking planet where he was created, and
was he on the outside of the Enterprise when he rode it. Rode it like a horse.
Yeah. Do you not ride in a car?
Wait. So you're gonna fault Picard for losing control, quote unquote, of his starship when all Data did was lock everybody out of the controls and then went to a planet? That's not hijacking, and especially
what the fuck do you think hijacking is?
When you're talking about the smartest machine ever created by man, that was able to lock them out, and only lock them out for a couple of hours. And then they were able to go down. He still lost the fucking ship
from his own crew.
Data.
And what did he do? Did Data have any ramifications from his actions? No, because it's Picard.
No, he didn't have any ramifications from his actions because he was not in control.
Really?
Picard understood that. He understood
Picard lets
the nuances.
officers on his bridge that
absolutely not.
may
Although
come
he did
under somebody else's control, may be able to take over the ship. That doesn't seem like a responsible captain to me.
Wow, really? Well, that's the silliest thing you've ever said.
Not to help Jason here, but didn't Picard also lose it to Wesley Crusher?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, but everybody wasn't that where they were all like on like they were all drunk.
He still lost the ship to Wesley Crusher.
Again, that's you're talking about circumstances outside of his control. Look, do you really want me to bring up all the times Kirk lost it?
Kirk never loast it. He just blew it
that's
up.
not true. He lost it to one of his comrades who ended up being like a big brain guy. Had telepathy. He lost it to the Klingons and had to actually blow it up. Picard never had to blow up a ship.
That was a
Klingons.
fucking takeover action. That was an armed takeover action, and he got rid of the ship because it'd been taken over.
Apples and apples don't count here, but you want to start comparing oranges and fucking figs.
So
and you're all like,
Kirk loses it once and
blows it up.
Yeah, because that's what you do. You don't want the fucking Klingons to take Starfleet Federation.
He lost it to Khan in the original series.
What? Oh, that's right. That's
you don't remember that?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my God, Khan was in the original. That is true. Look it up. He lost it to Khan. Khan took it over.
But that's because Kirk was showing his humanity. He found
is that what
this
it was?
capsule lost in space. He didn't know that they were part of the eugenics project and that Khan was actually built to be.
No, you're right. He didn't. But do you know who did? Spock. It wasn't Kirk who figured it out. It was Spock. Kirk would have just been without Spock.
Whatever.
Spock has saved Kirk's ass.
And Kirk has saved Spock's ass a lot too.
Really?
They're best friends. They're going to save each other's asses.
Are they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
You know who else has saved somebody's ass? Kirk has saved Picard's ass. So Picard wouldn't have been able to go back in time to
Kirk was
fight
already
the Borg.
dead. Let's just
if Kirk had saved his ass.
Kirk was dead. Kirk was in the Nexus. He was dead. Kirk understood that. Kirk decided to sacrifice himself, even though Jean-Luc had said that he would be the one to do it. Kirk's like, no, my time's over. It's your time. Basically, it was writing to pass the baton to the next generation. That was it. That was all it was. That's what Kirk would have done. Kirk's all about self-preservation.
Whatever. He saved fucking Picard's ass. He came out of the Nexus, the basically fucking heaven. He was having the time of his life.
And who
came out of the Texas?
Who talked him into it?
Out of the Nexus?
Oh my God! Who talked him into it? Who had to convince
because
him?
He fucking wanted Picard to shut up. He was just about to die of boredom.
No, that's not it at all. That is not it at all.
Okay, I'll come out of the Nexus with you if you'll just shut the fuck up.
Picard had to convince him.
I remember that quote.
Everything. No, you don't. He had to convince him that everything he was seeing wasn't real. It was all just part of the Nexus.
What a fucking buzzkill.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Fucking Kirk is enjoying his death and retirement in heaven. And here comes fucking Picard. I can't do this on my own. I need your help, Kirk.
Picard is by far, without a doubt, there's no question in the minds of anyone ever that Picard is the most decorated and the most highly respected captain in Starfleet history. End of story, full stop. Those are the facts of the case.
Well, yeah, just because he's lived so fucking long. If Kirk had lived longer, he probably would have been more decorated too.
No. How many black marks does Kirk have on his record? At least 2.
And each black mark was taken
Picard
with
have?
the fact that he had saved lives.
0. How many demotions did Kirk get? 2. How many demotions did Picard get? 0. How many times did Kirk break the rules? 11. How many times did Picard break the rules? 9. No, there is no question. There is no question in the minds of anyone ever that is sane and coherent that Picard is not the better captain. He is absolutely 100% the best captain. He is the best that Starfleet has to offer. So I would suggest to all of you out there
Kirk is
listening
dead.
to this, that you be all that you can be and join Starfleet and be like Picard.
All right. So that seemed like a closing statement from James. Jason, do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, my final thoughts is, Picard is good. I will give him that. Picard has gotten him and his crew out of several nasty situations. I'll give him that. But Picard is also the catalyst that brought the Borg into the fucking Alpha Quadrant. He's the one that fucking Q toys with like a goddamn cat with a mouse. And he almost, it's like he invites Q to come fuck with him. But barring that.
Wait, what? He doesn't invite Q. In fact, you know what? Q, for all intents and purposes, is a god. And what does Q do? He chooses to fuck with Picard. Do you know why? Because Picard is the more intellectual.
Because Picard is an easy mark.
Because Picard can take it.
Because Picard is an easy mark. He fucking tolerates it.
He left Kirk alone. But Picard catches his interest.
Because he knows Kirk wouldn't put up with that bullshit.
What was Kirk going to do? I'm going to shoot you. And nothing would happen.
Nah.
He's a god.
I guarantee you, Kirk would have figured something out. Kirk and Spock and McCoy would have figured something out.
There you go. Kirk and Spock and McCoy would have figured something out. No, Picard figured it out.
What? What did he figure out? How to fucking get manipulated by Q all the time? He did figure that out. You're absolutely right. But
wow.
Back to my closing statements. Kirk is absolutely the better captain. He doesn't fucking bore people to death. He fucking takes action and gets shit done.
Fucking race.
Yeah, so did Kirk.
How?
Several times.
How?
What are you talking about? How? I just illustrated with the saving of the whales. That was one of the more prolific.
Was that one? Oh, well, let me.
He also stopped a fucking war between the Federation and the Klingons.
That doesn't save the human race. He just stopped the war. Picard's done that fucking countless times. Picard saved the human race from never existing because a god was going to make us not exist. Picard saved everyone in the history of the human race. Not only that, Picard saved everyone in the human race from the Old West up until present time by stopping those soul-sucking aliens. So Picard has saved humanity as a whole more than one time over, where Kirk has not done it once.
How did Picard save the human race from Q? I don't think Q was ever going to fucking... Yeah, I've seen all good things multiple times.
Okay.
I don't think Q was going to fucking get rid of the human race. He was fucking with Picard.
No, he absolutely was going to. In fact, Picard thought he failed. And Q's like, no, you didn't fail. He's like, in that instant where you were able to think outside of what I thought you were able to, you saved the human race.
But did he? Because Q said that the fucking trial was still ongoing, right? Did he really save the human race? Apparently, we're still being judged. So Picard didn't save shit. He just commuted the sentence.
So far. And you know what? That's better than anything Kirk's done.
Whatever. Like I said, Kirk would have fucking gotten rid of Q.
How would you get rid of a god?
I don't know. I'm not fucking Kirk.
All right.
You know who is fucking Kirk? Rob's mom?
Oh. All right. So, now it comes down to my decision, huh?
Yeah, that's how
Unless
this
you
works.
won't let me decide.
Yeah, I'm not going to let you decide. So
Hey, could you do me a favor? Before you decide, can you text your mom and ask her what she thinks?
Yeah, in just a minute. Before I make my decision, I decided that I would write a special haiku for this episode.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yep. So here's the haiku. The title of it is Corn Porn. Corn nuggets, corn bread, buttered corn, sweet corn, corn all day. James is the corn queen.
Wow. All right.
Yeah. And as to my decision, I think the best captain in all of Starfleet is Christopher Pike, played by Anton Mount.
Fuck. I knew it.
In
Anson
Discovery.
Anson Mount.
Anson Mount.
Anton Mount. Jesus.
Yeah, in Discovery. And I'm looking forward to the show that they do with him.
Yeah, what has that fucking douche nozzle ever done?
I'll tell you what. if you want to talk about archetypes, Anson Mount as Christopher Pike is certainly closer to Picard than he is fucking Kirk.
So that's a
So he's a shitty captain.
That's a debate for another day. I was going to say Janeway just to piss both of you guys off.
Oh my God, what a shitty captain.
Yeah, absolutely fucking shitty captain.
Yeah.
Fucking Katharine Hepburn in space.
Yeah, right. So any final thoughts?
Yeah, there's coffee in that there nebula. Derp.
Yeah. Any final thoughts, Jason? Not about Kirk and Picard. I don't want to hear it. Just in general. Any final thoughts? Nothing?
No.
Great.
Enjoy your special quarantine cast. Bonus material. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yes.
Let us know in Discord.
Hey! This is
Sorry.
my
Sorry.
This is my outro. You shut the hell up. Damn, walking all over me. Think you're the host of this thing or something. I know, right? James,
Our intro and outro music is
shut up. Shut up. All right, so with that's it for this special edition of Smoking and Drinking in Space. Our intro and outro music is Welcome Home by Cambo. There was no pod crawl, so fuck it. If you like the show, please rate and review us on iTunes. You can leave us feedback on our Discord channel at smokinganddrinkinginspace.com/Discord, on Twitter at status_podcast, or email us at smokinganddrinkinginspace@outlook.com. If you'd like to throw a few nickels our way, become a Patreon supporter by going to smokinganddrinkinginspace.com/Patreon.
Yeah, it's not as fucking easy as it looks, is it?
It is not. It's a mouthful. And this goes without saying. If you liked what you heard, tell Jason. Maybe he'll let me host this more often. For this week,
God, no.
I am Satis.
God damn it.
We're out. You guys don't even get to say anything.
You are not Satis.
I am Satis.
This whole thing made me sad. Yes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this special Oh my God!
It's not as easy
Starting
as it
great.
looks.
Yeah, man, you get tongue-tied, don't you?
Podcasting is easy.
It's so simple. All right, let's try this again. And always with us, he's not allowed within 1,000 feet of any cornfield because it's that one night. Let me try that again.